By the time you reach around 30, life subtly taps you on the shoulder and whispers, "The rules you've been abiding by no longer apply." You begin to notice stark contrasts among your peers. Some are tirelessly working for companies that would replace them in the blink of an eye, while others seem to have mastered the art of gaming the system, working less, earning more, and calling the shots. One friend might be drained from always being the considerate figure in their relationships, while another has walked away from one-sided bonds and, in doing so, found better friendships, healthier relationships, and a deeper sense of peace. This realization brings forth a question you might be too afraid to voice. Did I waste my 20s living by rules that don't actually work? It's confronting. But here's a harsh truth. Life doesn't inherently reward fairness. It rewards results and effectiveness. This isn't to say you should turn into someone deceitful or ruthless. It's about understanding the reality of how the world functions and adjusting your game plan accordingly. Because if you continue treating life as if it's a merit-based classroom where good behavior guarantees success, you'll soon find yourself lagging behind those who've embraced a more pragmatic approach. Playing fair as you were taught often means putting others first at your own expense, protecting others' feelings while neglecting your own, adhering strictly to written rules while others prioritize outcomes. Niccolo Machiavelli wrote for princes navigating cutthroat politics, but his insights remain eerily applicable today. The world operates on limited opportunities and self-interest. Therefore, it's time to reconsider what it means to stop playing fair past 30, without compromising your ethics or integrity. Here's the distinction. There's ethical fairness, keeping promises, not exploiting or harming others. And then there's naive fairness, thinking everyone deserves equal shares irrespective of effort or contribution, putting others' feelings above reality, and refusing to leverage obvious advantages because it feels unfair. The first is worth preserving. The second is what needs to go. Machiavelli had a term for this mindset, virtù. It's not about being overly nice. It's about discerning reality with sharp clarity, acting decisively and shaping your destiny instead of hoping for good fortune. Success doesn't come from being the best person in the room. It comes from being aware of how the room operates and navigating it with intentionality. So, what does this look like in action? Start with how you manage your time. In your 20s, saying yes to everything makes sense. It's a phase of growth and discovery. But past 30, every yes carries significant consequences. Agreeing to overtime you don't need might mean neglecting your health, a passion project, or quality time with loved ones. Saying yes to draining social obligations denies you rest or connections that truly uplift you. Staying another year at a job you've outgrown is effectively saying no to pursuing ambitions that align more closely with your values. Playing fair with your time often manifests as an endless string of shoulds. I should help them. They'd feel disappointed if I say no. I should go because they invited me. I should stay longer. It wouldn't be right to leave early. But Machiavelli would scoff at such logic and ask you, what impact do these choices have on your future? Every decision you make either strengthens or weakens your position. Recognizing that reality is key. Start thinking strategically about your time, not emotionally. Before committing to something, pause and ask yourself, if I make this choice repeatedly, where will it lead me? Does this move align with my future goals, or am I just trying to keep the peace in this moment? Your 30s are not about excessive sacrifice, but about clarity, intention, and making decisions that serve your growth without unnecessary compromise. Understanding that time and energy are finite resources becomes essential as you move beyond 30. It's not selfish to prioritize yourself. It's about recognizing that the rules you've been following might not serve you anymore. Take your career, for instance. Many of us were raised to believe in a formulaic approach. Work hard, stay quiet, avoid conflict, and wait to be noticed. But as you've likely observed, the ones advancing aren't always the silent, diligent ones. It's those who make their efforts visible, cultivate relationships with higher-ups, confidently claim credit, and actively ask for what they want, whether it's a raise, a promotion, or a better opportunity. Leaders like Machiavelli's prince didn't achieve success by toiling quietly in the background. They built alliances, managed perceptions, and ensured their achievements were known. You don't need to transform into an office politician to succeed, but you do need to reject the notion that simply playing fair will get you ahead. Your career is not graded by classroom rules, and loyalty to a company doesn't inherently grant loyalty in return. In an environment where your role can be cut to preserve profit margins, you owe it to yourself to prioritize your professional well-being just as much. Keep networking beyond your current role. Be ready for unforeseen changes. Ask yourself what transferable value you're building if circumstances shift suddenly. And don't assume others automatically recognize your worth. Speak up. Clearly articulate your contributions. For example, I led this project and achieved X result, or I've taken on multiple responsibilities this year. I'd like to discuss how my title and compensation could better reflect that. Yes, this might feel uncomfortable at first. Is it unfair to others who stay quiet? Perhaps. But their silence isn't your responsibility, and sacrificing your progress to play fair with them shouldn't come at the expense of your goals. This same principle applies to personal relationships, romantic, family, or friendships. Many of us are conditioned to equate being good with continually compromising, seeing their side, giving more chances, splitting effort evenly, no matter how lopsided it truly is. But after 30, the reality becomes clear. There will always be people who take as much as you give, and when you ask for basic reciprocity, they'll frame it as you being unfair or demanding. They may accuse you of changing or being selfish because your balanced fairness no longer benefits them. Machiavelli might describe them as clinging to the status quo because it serves them. And why wouldn't they? Fairness on your part has made their life easier. Once you see this dynamic, it's essential to stop negotiating your time and energy with people who only show up when convenient, or who repeatedly let you down. You don't need dramatic confrontations to set boundaries. You act like a ruler of your own life by quietly adjusting their influence. Reduce access for those who've proven unreliable or dismissive of your needs. You wouldn't keep inviting someone who disrespects or sabotages you into your inner circle. Instead, protect your peace and priorities. This doesn't mean cutting people out completely. It means aligning your energy and investment with how others respect and reciprocate it. If someone has lost privileges with you, whether that's emotional support, time, or trust, it's up to you to ensure they feel that shift. Stop sharing intimate details with individuals who use them against you. Stop bending over backward for someone who consistently disregards your boundaries or efforts. There's power in silently detaching and prioritizing fairness toward yourself over placating others' expectations. By now, you likely know who drains you versus who uplifts you. You're no longer confused about patterns in these relationships. What holds many people back is fear, the uncertainty of what will happen if they stop playing fair and instead start acting in alignment with their truth. However uncomfortable it may seem initially, choosing to honor yourself over maintaining a false sense of fairness opens the door to a more authentic and fulfilling life. There's another piece here: opportunities. From a young age, we're often taught to ensure fairness, to always give others a chance, and that seizing an opportunity too quickly can come across as greedy or unfair. Yet, the reality is quite different. Opportunities don't linger. They don't wait to be politely claimed. They come and go quickly, often snapped up by those who are the least hesitant, the least concerned about appearing overly eager. Niccolò Machiavelli famously said that fortune is like a flooding river. It can be directed if you're prepared, but it will sweep you away if you're not. He also likened fortune to a woman who favors the bold and decisive. What he deeply understood is that while luck may present itself, it's boldness that determines who benefits from it. This perspective becomes even more crucial as we age. By your 30s, it's wise to prioritize action over excessive consideration of fairness. For instance, when a career-changing opportunity arises, if you find yourself hesitating, thinking about hurting someone's feelings if you step forward, or worrying that others might view you as arrogant, remember, someone else has likely already stepped up. Being overly considerate in such moments often means sidelining yourself. A better principle to adopt is, if you're ready and qualified, act. Others can pull you back if it's not your place, but don't eliminate yourself because of unseen competitors or imagined reproach. It's natural to feel uneasy at this concept. It may seem harsh. You might think if everyone behaved this way, the world would become colder, more ruthless. But here's where Machiavelli's insight is nuanced. Most people don't operate like this. Many default to comfort, routine, and the safety of staying within their narratives. Elevating your approach, becoming more strategic, less naive, and protective of your goals, does not create chaos. Instead, it simply moves you out of the crowd that gets nudged around by circumstance. Yet, you can still establish ethical boundaries, refuse to lie, steal, or intentionally cause harm. At the same time, refuse to diminish yourself for the sake of others' comfort or sacrifice your future because someone deems your limits unfair. Living strategically doesn't mean losing your humanity. It means aligning clear ethics with sharp decision-making. So, how do you start embodying this mindset? It comes down to 3 fundamental shifts. First, move from guilt-based decisions to consequence-based decisions. Many people let guilt drive their choices. It feels wrong to say no, selfish to put themselves first, or mean to speak up. Instead of letting guilt dictate your actions, evaluate consequences. If I agree 10 more times, where does this path take me? If I stay silent, am I reinforcing a harmful pattern? If I keep putting myself last, who really benefits in the long run? Guilt won't disappear instantly, but it shouldn't be the final arbiter of your choices. Focus on results, not just immediate discomfort. Machiavelli didn't ask whether his decisions would make his prince popular. He asked whether they would stabilize and strengthen his position. Similarly, alignment with your goals should take precedence over fleeting guilt. The second shift is moving from equal treatment to earned treatment. This doesn't mean treating people poorly. Respect remains a basic standard for all. But your time, energy, loyalty, and other resources shouldn't be available indiscriminately. Begin differentiating those who earn your trust from those who exploit your niceness. Pay attention. Who consistently respects your boundaries, celebrates your success without resentment, and supports you in meaningful ways. These individuals deserve more access to you than those who don't reciprocate in kind. While this shift may feel uncomfortable, especially if you've been giving everyone equal access, it ensures you're not depleting yourself on people who wouldn't do the same for you. The third, and perhaps the most crucial shift, is from hoping to positioning. In your 20s, there's room for drifting and hoping that things will align by chance. Hoping you'll be noticed. Hoping you'll get your turn one day. But by 30 and beyond, relying on hope alone becomes an unkindness to yourself. Instead of waiting passively for opportunities to arrive or recognition to be handed to you, actively position yourself where these chances arise. Take charge of creating environments where you're most likely to succeed instead of expecting favorable conditions to seek you out. Adopting this approach means stepping away from wishful thinking and into purposeful action. These shifts, choosing outcomes over guilt, valuing earned over equal treatment, and prioritizing positioning over passive hope, help you become both bolder and better prepared for the demands of life while still maintaining integrity. This philosophical balance isn't about becoming ruthless. It's about embracing pragmatism with purpose and clarity while staying true to moral principles that allow you to thrive without exploitation or cruelty. It's about realizing that protecting your own future while upholding healthy boundaries doesn't take away from others or the world. It simply ensures you're not. Positioning is about being where the key information flows, not necessarily on the sidelines. It's about being in the rooms where decisions are made, not just where those decisions are announced. It's about cultivating skills that make you valuable, not merely busy. It requires saving, investing, and planning so your future isn't entirely dependent on your boss or the economy. The march of those who succeeded in history wasn't reliant on mere luck. They prepared, worked, armed themselves, and built alliances. You don't need literal armor, but maybe you need a network that extends beyond just your coworkers. While you don't need a fortress, financial security, like an emergency fund, can give you the freedom to leave a toxic job. You don't need soldiers, but cultivating rare skills that are portable can fortify your career for any situation. This is what modern self-empowerment looks like. Quietly stacking advantages rather than pretending that everyone begins with equal opportunities. If all of this feels like a lot, take a breath. Change doesn't have to be drastic or instantaneous. You don't need to upend your personality, confront everyone at once, quit your job, or relocate next week. Power, in the sense Machiavelli described, is built through small, incremental steps. So, start with something manageable. Pinpoint one area where playing too fair is holding you back. Perhaps it's at work, where you stay late, cover for others, but receive no credit. Maybe it's with a friend who only reaches out when their life is a crisis. Or perhaps it's with family who guilts you into decisions that don't serve you. Pick one aspect of your life and ask yourself, what would it look like to stop playing fair here and start playing smart? That alteration could mean better documenting your contributions at work to ensure your manager notices them. It might mean saying, "I can't talk right now," the next time a friend calls at midnight before a workday with their drama. Or it could mean telling family, "I love you, but I'm making this decision for myself, not for your approval." It's natural to feel resistance, an inner conflict rooted in the version of yourself raised to believe fairness requires constant self-sacrifice. But it's not about killing that part of you. It's about updating it. After 30, you're expected to evolve from who you were at 19. By now, experience has shown that the world isn't a tidy karmic equation where every good deed is rewarded in kind. Some kindnesses will go unreturned, efforts unacknowledged, sacrifices unappreciated. Holding on to bitterness over this reality is an option, or you can allow it to harden you in healthy ways. A little more resolve in your spine, a little more thoughtfulness in your commitments, a little more detachment from others' opinions, and a lot more focus on your priorities. Machiavelli didn't write for children. He wrote for adults who had everything to lose by remaining naive. While you may not be ruling a city-state, you are the ruler of your most precious resources, your years, energy, relationships, and career. If you continue playing by idealistic rules of fairness, expecting bolder and sharper people to defer to your expectations, you'll likely find yourself left behind. Here's what fairness should mean after 30. Fair to your future, fair to your effort, fair to your values, and fair to the finite time you have on this planet, not just fair to everyone else's comfort or expectations of you. When faced with choosing between prioritizing others' ease and being fair to your own life, always lean toward preserving your life. That's the kind of fairness Machiavelli would recognize, one grounded in clearly seeing reality, shedding comforting illusions, and acting in your own best interest while maintaining your humanity. It doesn't require cruelty, but does demand stepping away from being perpetually available. It doesn't mean dishonesty, but does require understanding that others may not be as fair as you are. After 30, this isn't cynicism. It's self-respect with open eyes.